2 years ago, I saw someone riding behind a boat on what appeared to be a board suspended in the air on a mast. I didn't know what it was, and I tried to figure it out. I went online and discovered that that person was riding a hydrofoil. I myself had limited surfing experience, limited wakeboarding experience, and didn't really know where to turn. So what do you do when you don't know where to turn? You go to Amazon. I went to Amazon, did some quick searching, and a few moments later was the proud new owner of this board. I've only foiled for 2 years, and I've only foiled on this lake, never in an ocean, so I'm not an expert. But I do want to share some of what I learned to help you select a foil package that lets you enjoy the lake as much as possible. The first thing we need to do is talk through the parts of the hydrofoil, as you will need to select these components when buying your hydrofoil. A hydrofoil consists of three main parts. The first is the board, the second is the mast, the third is the foil. The foil consists of three main parts: the front wing, the fuselage, and the rear wing. After foiling for 2 years, I realized the hydrofoil I purchased was not a great fit for the lake, so I purchased the foil on the left. I'll share how I arrived at the decisions that led me to select these components. The first question you need to ask yourself is, how are you going to use the foil? On a lake, that's fairly straightforward. It really comes down to three main activities. Number one, foiling behind a boat or a jet ski on a relatively small wake. Number two, flat water pumping. And number three, dock starting. These are the three biggest wings from Slingshot. The Infinity 76 has about 1,500 square centimeters, the Infinity 84 has about 2,100, and the Infinity 99 has about 2,400. I'm 190 pounds or 86 kilos, and the wing in the middle is the right wing for me. I like all three wings, but if I had to pick one wing with best fit for the lake, I'd make this recommendation based on weight. Remember, the bigger wings provide more lift and are slower, and the smaller wings provide less lift and are faster. Board selection is probably the toughest, as so much of it comes down to preference. I am not a board expert, but I do like shorter and lighter boards. I like that for two reasons. One, when pumping and carving, I wanted to minimize the amount of weight in front of my front foot. It just made it easier to pump and carve. The second is I wanted to be able to see in front of me. I really wanted my front foot only a few inches behind the nose of the board. Another idea is to get a board that is buoyant. This allows you to start behind the boat without needing to be in the water, thereby making it easier to learn. Another consideration is mast length. You have the small 15-inch mast, a mid-sized 24-inch mast, and then the very large 3-foot mast here to my left. There are pros and cons of each. The advantage of the small is that it's relatively easy to get up on. That wing isn't that far away from the board. The downside is that foil is fairly close to breaching as soon as you're airborne. The advantage of the 36-inch on the left is there's a significant room for error when you are airborne. It takes quite a bit to breach that wing, and you have lots of time to react. Unfortunately, that wing is so far away from your feet that very subtle movements of your toe to your heel edge causes significant movement under the water, and it becomes relatively hard to control. Kind of think of it like walking on stilts and how difficult it is to accomplish a task while walking on stilts. As a result, I settled on the 24-inch mast. I really like this mast because it's a good compromise of both. Some other considerations that we didn't cover today were the rear wing size and shape, the fuselage, and the ultimate front wing plan or front wing area and shape. There are some front wings on the market that have a higher aspect ratio, which means a larger wing span and a shorter chord length, and those will affect the performance as well, and I look forward to trying those wings as they enter the market. But as our search for the perfect wing continues for the lake, I think this is a good starting point for anyone entering the sport, and from here you can add new front wings and mast lengths and board to accommodate exactly what you're looking for. I love lake foiling and know the kind of things that I like to do, and that has guided my equipment selection, and it should for you as well. Consider the equipment based on what it is you want to do. Choose a board and mast that you'd feel comfortable riding, and choose a front wing that's suitable for your weight. And choose a reputable manufacturer. If you love this as much as I do, this will not be your last foil purchase as you seek to find a perfect wing, and the original setup that you buy will become the building block for future foils.